right, I am reading this book, The Anatomy of Fascism by Robert Paxton, and I urge you to read this. This is one of the best distillations of autocracy and fascism that you can read, and it's short and pithy. My kind of book. I have reached out to Professor Paxton. He's still alive. He's in his 90s. And I've asked if he would be up for an interview, if his health would be up for it, and we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, it's important to do an overview of what Professor Paxton has identified as the 9 mobilizing passions for fascism. These are completely emotional gut feelings, not rooted in rhyme or reason. And these 9 things are what you need to look out for. I'm going to list them and offer some examples applicable to Donald Trump. Number 1, a sense of overwhelming crisis beyond the reach of any traditional solutions. You may remember Reagan's famous line, "Government is not the solution to our problems, it is our problem." Well, Trump has taken that to a new obscene level. He's gutted all of the vital programs that we need in order to function. He's laid off many workers without any logic. This is a mobilizing passion. False belief here is that government cannot possibly present any solution to our ills, that it is an outdated, outmoded traditional mechanism. All right, number 2, the privacy of the group toward which one has duties superior to every right, whether individual or universal, and the subordination of the individual to it. We're seeing this with the crackdown on DEI. We're seeing this with the xenophobia against immigrants, which is predicated on falsehood. Trump's strategy is about primacy. And if you don't sign on to the bullshit, fuck you. Number 3, the belief that one's group is a victim, a sentiment that justifies any action without legal or moral limits against its enemies, both internal and external. Did you notice last night that Trump painted himself as a fucking victim? The newspapers, the media, online's been terrible for me. And by speaking in tropes in which he falsely tells the working class that he is a friend of them, that he understands their victimhood. Well, he's managed to get you MAGA cultists to sign onto the dotted line. Number 4, dread of the group's decline under the corrosive effects of individualistic liberalism, class conflict, and alien influence. Again, DEI. Again, the sudden heel turn against Zelensky in relation to Ukraine. Again, the completely unfettered tariff attacks on Mexico and Canada. This is all rooted on a false sense of puissance. Somehow America will decline if it doesn't stand up to these allied nations of ours that apparently threaten our dominance. Number 5, the need for closer integration of a purer community by consent if possible or by exclusionary violence if necessary. Well, all you have to do is look at ICE. All you have to do is look at the unthinking MAGA cult bobbing their heads up and down. The rally. See, there's a kind of purity here, right? A kind of white supremacist purity, if you know what I mean. Oh, the MAGA cult signs on for this. But as we know, ICE, baby, and its odious mass deportation methods are pulling families apart. Exclusionary violence, sight unseen. Number 6, the superiority of the leader's instincts over abstract and universal reason. You don't see any Republicans questioning Donald Trump, do you? You don't see any reason to his methods. I mean, we still don't know why Canada is being targeted for a tariff attack. It's ostensibly based off of border security, but that's very much a small issue. No, this is about not questioning Donald Trump. This is about a completely unhinged leader operating purely by instincts and not reason at all. Number 7. Sorry, Professor Paxton, I mixed up 6 and 7, but we got them all, okay? The need for authority by natural leaders, always male, culminating in a national chief who alone is capable of incarnating the group's destiny. What did Trump say in his speech last night? I am the natural leader. God put me on this earth. Yeah, only Trump can be the messiah here to save us from a completely unspecified problem. Only Trump and Trump alone can save this nation. Talk about false motherfucking prophets, huh? Number 8, the beauty of violence and the efficacy of will when they are devoted to the group's success. Again, this is not very hard to see. Trump has a long documented history of calling violence beautiful. And don't forget what he said about Liz Cheney. Success in Donald Trump's terms means cracking a few heads. Cracking every leftist or liberal head, right? And finally, number 9. The right of the chosen people to dominate others without restraint from any kind of human or divine law. Right being decided by the sole criterion of the group's powers within a Darwinian struggle. Remember this bit from last night's speech? And we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant, emphasis there, civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. Why would you use a word like dominant? I mean, there's plenty of earth here for all sorts of peoples and all sorts of nations, right? Well, from Trump's standpoint and from the fascistic standpoint, there can be only one! And we're not talking Highlander here, all right? This is about a completely depraved, racist, xenophobic part of the population that believes itself superior to everyone. Because they have fooled themselves into believing that they should be the final arbiters of human existence, they believe that they should have the right to dominate. They believe there should be no restraints on their right to dominate. And let's face the facts, folks. We're only a hairbreadth away from having some kind of SS or Hitler Youth here in America. I mean, making a 13-year-old kid a Secret Service agent is pretty much the first sign that we are going to be going to this Hitler Youth, League of the German Girls kind of life here in America. All right, so those are the 9 mobilizing passions. And again, the book is The Anatomy of Fascism by Professor Robert Paxton. I urge you to read this. This is one of many salient points that Professor Paxton has to offer.